So Draymond Green, very interesting topic. Draymond Green. Draymond Green had a lot to say. I mean, he came out, this is, where should we begin? Now, there are a lot of narratives just flying out there, and Draymond Green has become very polarizing. You have a lot of people who are against Draymond Green, and you have a lot of people who are for Draymond Green. You have a lot of people who do not like what has happened, and you have a lot of people that like what happened, meaning Draymond Green deserves what is coming his way. It's interesting. Now, Draymond Green came out, he apologizes, no buts. He apologizes, no buts. I want to repeat that one more time. He apologizes, no buts. Draymond Green. Now, I listened to the whole thing, and there was a lot of I. And you know what was very interesting? He did not apologize to Nurkic. He did not apologize to Rudy. I mean, he acknowledged what happened. He acknowledged what happened to Sabonis. He acknowledged, meaning he acknowledged everything that has happened. But there wasn't an apology, like directly geared to the people who were affected. And Draymond Green came out sounding like a victim to some people. Now, that doesn't mean that I see him as a victim or I do not see him as a victim. I see him totally different. Where I come from, my experiences are very different. What he did to me, my world, the way we see things, that was nothing. That was really nothing. But I understand, I can't push my views onto everybody. It's just the way the world works. They're my views and they're the world's views. And usually we roll with the majority. That's the way the world will like things to go, with the majority. There are people like me that just see things very differently. I see it very differently. I see Draymond Green as just somebody that, lives on the edge, like he said himself. And sometimes, he crosses past that edge. He crossed that line to the other side. Now, do you think Draymond Green would have actually said that if, how should I put this in a way that you would understand? If there were no greater powers, because at the end of the day, he does dance to some kind of music. And when I say some kind of music, it could be to you guys, the fans. It could be to the NBA. It could be to the Warriors. It could be to his family. It could be to anybody out there. I'm not sure, but it felt like there was a force. Because I don't see any kind of therapy or self-analysis in a short period of time like the time that he took, whereby he just came out like almost a changed person. He's a champion of change right now. Those are the words he used, a champion of change. Well, great for him. I just feel like that change came so quickly. That's a microwave change. And I always feel like real change takes time. And he said that. He did say that. He's going to be changing over time. It's the actions. And that's what I want to get to. It doesn't really matter for me. It's good for him. If he decides to change and gets rid of the antics, great for Draymond Green. If Draymond Green is still going to have the antics, I'm okay. I'm okay with that. The whole thing to me is just overblown. There's certain things, certain ways people would like for you to act. And that's just the way it is. Because when you look around the league, there are a lot of things that do happen. Some just get pushed to the next level when certain people are doing. It's just they get pushed to that next level because it's somebody. I'm not sure. One of the play-by-play commentators once said, sometimes they look at the foul and then they look at the name on the back of the jersey and then they decide what they're going to do, meaning what type of foul it's going to be. That's just the way the world works. Certain things that I do, they will look at me and be like, oh, that's fine. And then there's certain things that I do, certain people look at me and be like, nah, without even thinking twice. It's just the way the world works. And where we are right now, I'm looking at Draymond Green. Well, I mean, I'm saying a whole lot. But what I'm really trying to say is, let's wait and see to see who this new Draymond Green is. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting. But what's more interesting to me is actually the return of Draymond Green to the Warriors. How that is going to look like. That's going to be very interesting. The Warriors are in this really crazy space right now, and I could see there's a lot of frustration coming from the players. You know, the players do not like where they are. They don't believe they belong where they are right now, meaning the record. It's not a reflection of who they are. They just don't buy that. You ask me, I don't buy it. I believe they're a really good team. But there are certain things that are happening with the Warriors. And the reality is they're below 500 team right now. Their performance hasn't been that great. I'm talking about everybody, including Steph. It hasn't been consistent. You watch Steph the last 5-6 games, he hasn't looked like Steph. Now, some people would say, you know, that's typical of Steph. You know, during the course of the season, he goes through patches, and it's been like that, I would say, the past 2-3 seasons. Like last season, there was a time he wasn't shooting all that great. And right now, it's different. Like a couple of games, he just doesn't score in the first quarter. I mean, there's just a lot going on with the Warriors, you ask me. There's just a lot going on. And then you have the young guys who are just not getting a lot of playing time. And then you have Steve Kerr. His rotation is really, let's just leave it at that. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense. But I'm sure he understands what he's doing, and whatever he's doing hasn't worked. But it's not just Steve Kerr. It's like I'm saying, it's the Warriors. It is the Warriors. Now, usually I say, do not panic. Don't hit the panic button. And I'm not hitting the panic button just yet. But the last 5 games have been terrible. They're trending the wrong way. They're trending the wrong way. They're definitely trending the wrong way. So it's going to be really interesting reintroducing Draymond Green back into the Warriors lineup. And maybe that would give us somewhat of a good picture, you know, probably late January or early Feb, what the Warriors might really look like at the end of the season. Because right now we haven't really seen the Warriors like as a whole, as a unit. There's always something happening. It could be one of those seasons that it might never happen all the way to the very end, kind of like what we have seen with the Clippers for so long. Like we're always waiting for something to happen. We're always waiting for something to happen, but this guy's injured, that guy's injured. And the Clippers are doing really great this season. The Clippers, I would say they're the hottest team right now when you break it down into the little chunks right after the tournament, the end season tournament. The Clippers are hot. They're a really good team right now. And it's mainly the same personnel they had from last season. It's just things are different now, you know. The morale, the spirit, the confidence is there. You can see it. Guys are playing with a purpose. Guys know who they are. Guys are really going for it. This is what I'm talking about. Team chemistry and just the state of mind, players' state of mind matters a lot on how they perform. The Clippers are a perfect example of that. Like they're playing really good basketball right now. But will this last all the way to the very end? Because they do say you have to peak at the right moment. Hopefully they will sustain this all the way to the very end of the season and into the playoffs, because I would love to see what a Clippers team, like a really good Clippers team, would do in the West. Be very interesting. Be very interesting. And then you have those young teams that are just going. You know what I mean? Whatever they get, they get. They really don't have a lot to lose. It's just make a name for themselves. They're really dangerous teams. Like right now, OKC still has nothing to lose. Like nobody's sitting at home right now saying, OKC are going to be the champions this year. Nobody's doing that. But everybody's excited about OKC. They're excited. They have nothing to lose. I'm looking at OKC. They have nothing to lose, and they will be a problem. Whatever team plays against OKC, I'm sorry for you guys. It's going to be a problem for you guys. No expectations. They have nothing to lose. They out there just making names for themselves. You know what I mean? It's very impressive. It's very impressive what they're doing right now as a young team. Very, very impressive. And then the Pelicans somehow, they found their groove after getting knocked out by the Lakers in that tournament. They got their groove now. They're playing great basketball again. Just, oh my God. There's just a lot going on. A lot going on. Some really, really interesting stuff that's going on. And I love it. I love every minute of it. I love it.